What's up, you guys? My name's Noah. I make music as Haterade. You're watching Sounds Good. Today we're going to be talking about tech house basses, but we're not going to be just making a preset. I'm going to be sharing some tips with you guys on how you can improve your basses by doing other things outside of just designing the patch. So before we get into that, make sure you check out my finishing music checklist. If you want to finish more music, go grab it. It's totally free. And if you want to support the channel, head over to soundsgoodrex.com to check out our new sample pack called Clouds. It's a great sample pack. It is comprehensive, tons of stuff. Go check it out if you want to help out the channel. So the first thing we're going to look at doesn't have anything to do with the bass itself. It's all about the surrounding elements. If your surrounding elements don't sound good, then your bass probably isn't going to sound good with those. So let's take a listen. This is no bass line. If you have a good foundation, everything else is going to fall into place. You can make a mediocre patch sound really great if you've got great surroundings. So that's tip number one. For the second tip, we are going to be talking about the groove and the melody. Tech house basses are all about groove. That's the entire point of tech house. So we're going to start out by designing the melody first and then the groove afterwards with just a saw wave. And it's important that you do this with the drums playing if you already have your drum loop made, because this will help dictate where you place your notes. So let's start. We're writing an F, so I'm going to start with a couple of notes here. Let's actually bring this down a couple octaves here. All right, so I know I want this to go up a fifth, and we'll sparse them out dotted eighth notes here, or dotted quarter notes, I think, something like that. Like that, okay. So we'll drop in little accent notes in between those there, and then we'll just copy, and then we'll change this around. Let's make it simple. Let's just walk it back down. Another tip for writing bass lines is shifting notes up an octave. Learned that one from Zen World himself. And then this last one here, I'm gonna change up the notes here on this last section. I'm gonna go up to C. We're just gonna follow this same pattern here. Actually, do that. Shift that up there, and then we'll bring these up to... I'm moving the notes up an octave by selecting them, holding shift, and using my arrow keys to jump it up an octave. If when you're playing your loop and it sounds like it flows into the beginning part of the loop, you got a good loop. All right, so now let's get into the design of this patch. I want to make it really simple, but also have it a little bit of character and a little bit of texture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a sine wave. Sine waves are great because they're really stable, and we're going to be making an FM style bass here, which stands for frequency modulation. So using a sine wave as the primary oscillator is going to work great for this. I'm going to bring the phase all the way down. This means the cycle of that oscillator is going to start in the same spot every time, so our sound is going to stay consistent. We're going to do the same thing here with oscillator 2. Except we're going to bring this one up an octave. And then we're going to bring the level all the way down because we don't want to hear this oscillator. We're just going to use it for frequency modulation on oscillator 1. So we're going to come down here on FM from oscillator 2, and I'm going to bring that down to somewhere around here. We'll adjust it to taste. And then I'm going to use a more complex wavetable, like something from Spectral or Digital. These are the Serum wavetables I've loaded into Vital here. But we could even use factory wavetables too. There's plenty of great ones. Let's actually shift these both down an octave. Sounding pretty good, but not quite there yet, but that's okay because we haven't applied the filter yet. Let's set up oscillator 3 for a dedicated sub. This is going to bypass all of our effects and the frequency modulation, so it gives us some clean low end. That's really important. So we'll go in here, grab our analog BD sine here, bring the phase all the way down, and we're going to set this to direct out. We want this one also to be at -12. Okay, now we're going to engage filter 1. I'm going to bring the resonance all the way down. We'll give it a little bit of resonance. The resonance just accentuates the filter movement. So if you want your filter movement to be heard and noticed a lot, bump that resonance up like this. So then what we're going to do is we're going to create a ramp down shape here, and I'm going to switch the mode to envelope. This means that it's just going to cycle through one time. And then I'm going to bring the frequency up to 1/8, and that just dictates the speed of our LFO movement. Then I'm going to click and drag down here onto our cutoff. This is just our filter position, so we want this thing to move. Sounding good. Let's switch this to a 24 dB slope here. Yeah, I'm gonna bring the range down here so the filter isn't moving so much. Sounding good. I want to bring the voices all the way down to 1 because we want to make sure that only one note is playing at a time. And when we bring the release up, whenever the MIDI note ends in our MIDI clip, we're gonna get a little bit of tail at the end. Let's turn on always glide and bring the glide up a little bit, so when the notes pitch up, there's a little bit of a drift up to that note. Probably too much glide there. Now let's add a little bit of distortion here. And then we'll add some single band compression here and bring the mix down a little bit. And then we'll bring the volume up just a little bit more. To add a little extra sauce on the end, we can add a saturator. I'm going to map macro 1 to the cutoff so we can automate this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this come up over time as we end this progression here. So it's going to start to open the filter up and then it's going to close back down. Listen. This is just one of many ways to make a tech house bass, but the basis for this video was just to understand the fundamentals so you guys could take this and apply it to a ton of different other basses and other tracks too. This doesn't just apply to tech house, it applies to other genres as well. So thanks for watching, guys. As always, as my free gift to you guys, my free finished music checklist in the description of this video. It's all yours. It's helped a lot of people. I hope it helps you too. And if you want to support the channel, hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and head over to soundsgoodrex.com to check out Clouds Volume 1, our premiere sample pack. It's a great pack. I know you're going to love it. Thanks for watching, guys.